Hello. Thanks for joining us on the Nikki Maduro Show. I'm Nikki Maduro. Kim McAllister is back from her birthday weekend.
Yeah.
I hope you had a fabulous birthday, my friend.
Yeah, it was good, and we had sixth grade graduation. That was actually last Thursday. That's why I couldn't be here. But
Of
and
course.
then the birthday followed up. So yeah, big summer, big things. Now I have both kids at home.
I know. Today is my last day of schoolwork.
Okay.
But so much stuff planned. Does Jacob, who is your sixth grader, did he have any big plans for the summer now that he's going to be, I guess the sixth grade is just junior high, right? It's not like he's going to high school.
No, seventh grade is next. Junior high is next. And he's staying at the same school. Technically, it's the charter school within a school, but he's staying at on the same campus. But I was a really poor planner this year, and I did not sign him up for a bunch of camps like normal. Oh. And so for the last 3 days, Jacob has been home with his phone, with his face in an iPad screen playing video games because I'm a really bad mom.
You are not a really bad mom. I came home today. Dylan is he's in summer break. My son, who's a rising sophomore, as they say. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's gone out of his pajama pants today, but it is what it is. At some point it's going to get old. He just had a birthday. My son just turned 15.
Yay.
I know. They're getting
happy birthday,
old.
Dylan.
I know. I'm so happy. But
I can't believe we have seniors in high school now. Senior daughters.
So much to unpack there. We are actually going to be talking later today about graduation season and seniors. There was some crazy stories that I haven't been able to get to that's local to the Bay Area, and that's that Los Gatos mom, the party mom who was having the parties at her home. She was sentenced to 35 years.
Yeah.
And then there's this nut story. I don't know if you heard about in Arizona about this kid who was at a senior ditch day party and got severely injured. And now he's suing. So, and he's 18. So we're going to have a conversation about that in a little bit towards the end of the show, because it's one of those things where still underage, but an adult, parents are at home. And I want to kind of open it up when we talk about it of when is it best to leave your child home alone? Like ever, if they're under the age of 18? Do you trust them? Do you let them have friends over? So we'll talk about that coming up. But first, let's get through some of the very necessary business, which is, of course, click a thumbs up button to show your support for the show. YouTube loves it. We love it. And it really helps us out. So if you could do that, that would really help us out. And we are 100% crowdfunded on the Nikki Maduro Show. Every single dollar you give goes directly into myself and Kim McAllister's pocket to do the show every week. And we love doing it, but we need your help to continue doing it. So if you can find it to donate during the show, during a super chat or super sticker, donating through PayPal, which doesn't take a cut, which is awesome, or even be a monthly subscriber through our Patreon, we would really, really appreciate it because we like doing the show, but it's not free to do the show. So we would just love for any support that you guys can give because we love to be here. So thank you to all of our fans that have been here since the very, very beginning. We love you guys. And yeah, let's get to it. So we're going to get to the election. I mean, obviously the results have been in for a while, and I'm talking about obviously the midterms and specifically here in California. But I do want to first talk about the misinformation and where it truly comes from and who stirs the pot when it comes to this. One of the big narratives, Kim, and we've known this since 2020, is election fraud, right? And obviously it's gone back to Al Gore and all sorts of elections, right? But with Donald Trump losing to Joe Biden, it really, really amped up this idea that our elections are not safe. And in states like California being the biggest, that does all mail-in ballots, everybody gets a ballot, no matter whether you ask for one or not, that there is this idea that they can't possibly be counted, that someone can drive in from out of state and vote. And that's not true. Hard stop. That is not true. If you do that, you get caught. There are systems in place to check multiple things, one being your signature, two being whether or not a ballot has already been submitted, those sorts of things. But the misinformation that comes out starts at the top, and it starts with Donald Trump. And the narrative that he is able to control from everything from elections to even what's going on in Iran, right? Like it's as if, and we've said this before, don't believe your eyes, don't believe your ears, just believe what I'm telling you. I had said something about the thumbnail being, I love inflation. Donald Trump coming out saying, I love inflation during a press conference when he was asked about the numbers. And he couched it by saying, I love it because it means Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon, as if that explains it all. He's missing the large chunk that he started this war. He goes back and forth on calling it a war. It's not a war. It is a war. I can call it now. Barrels of oil and the price of gas will come down once this military excursion or war is over. And people just regurgitate this shit as if it's not going against, one, everything he promised, and two, as if it doesn't matter. Like, I just still don't understand why people do not hold the president accountable. And I'll just say it, for the lies that he's telling, right? He's lying about what's going on in Iran. He's lying about the fact that the Strait of Hormuz is open. He's lying about the fact that inflation is okay. And I mean, I guess he's being honest that he loves inflation, because I just don't think that he gives a shit. And then it's this idea that our elections are fraudulent. And it's a scary time, Kim, when all of these things get said, repeated, and made to be truths, because he is the source of, for instance, election misinformation. It's him. It's not California and the way we do our elections.
It was when Trump was running for president. I don't know if it was the first time or the second time. I was just trying to look that up. That was the first time, because in America, usually we have pretty good faith, used to have very good faith in our systems, right? And then Trump decides to run. And it's almost like he knows he's going to lose, right?
Of course.
And so because of that, and because he can't possibly take responsibility for anything or be the fault of anything, he sets the stage for, if I lose, and he even said this, if I lose, it's rigged.
Exactly.
And that was the first moment where you're like, oh, he's setting the stage. I see the foreshadowing here. He's going to do this. It should have been clear to everyone. That's what he was doing before even a single vote was cast, right? I read something yesterday, and I was trying to look that up too. They did a study. They looked back at his comments over the last 5 months. Mm-hmm. He has talked about how the 2020 election was supposedly rigged 4 times a day, every day for the last 5 months.
I wonder why.
I think that's the number, but it's something close to that. That's what they found. So here we are. And now I guess one of his candidates in, I believe, Idaho or Iowa, an I state, didn't win. And he's very upset at his people around him that made him,
give his endorsement for him.
Candidate. Yeah. He's all upset over this because he has to be the winner every single time. And if he doesn't, he's gonna blame someone or come up with some excuse or talk about rigging. And as with everything else with Trump, here's what we know to be true. Anything he accuses someone else of is something he is doing himself, right? Exactly. So it's almost like an admission, a roundabout admission. If he's blaming that on someone else, that's he did it, right?
Exactly.
And so when I look at cheating and rigging, I look at what's happening with redistricting and trying to restrict people's ballots. And they're doing all the things they can do to keep people from voting. And his former campaign manager even said yesterday, admitted in an interview, that they now have the decks stacked in their favor because of redistricting. That's why it was so important for California to fight back.
Yep.
Because when the chips are down, when their Republican, Trump's, MAGA, what have you, when their numbers are falling, his poll numbers are falling, and they know they're going to lose, they will rig the system via, not allowing people to vote, by restricting voter ID, by clamping down however they can to try to swing this thing in their favor. That's the cheating. That's the rigging. And I hope we're all smart enough to see it.
No, and we're not. And the thing that I never understand is why at these press conferences, And maybe they haven't, I've missed it. But why don't they ever say, why do you only seem to suspect fraud in the races you've lost?
Did you see the story about, he was all, California's elections are rigged. Look at what's happening with Spencer Pratt. Or look at what's happening with Hilton or whatever. And then all of a sudden Hilton floats to number 2.
And he's like, oh, never mind.
All of a sudden they're like,
it's the Carrie Lake thing all over again. Remember Carrie Lake? She kept going back and forth about fraud when she was up or down and up or down. It's so obvious, Kim, that I don't know why. There was a TikTok video of a bunch of, out-of-state people like, we're going to go to California and vote because voter ID is racist, right? We could just, and you can't. And they found that out. Like, it's the evidence. The Kristen Welker interview where he threw an absolute conniption fit because she had the audacity to actually be like, where is the evidence? 4 simple words. It is 2026. Anybody that is listening to this show, show me when Trump produced evidence beyond just the fact like, well, the early results showed we were winning. And then the mail-in ballots came in. All of a sudden we're losing. That's how it works. You're supposed to count all the ballots first. Like, everybody knows this. And we've so many times talked about this, but it's the most investigated election ever was 2020. Ever. And he never produced any evidence. And now to come out and say there's fraud in California with no evidence, he is the source of how Americans no longer trust, or a lot of Americans no longer trust our election system.
Because if they say it enough over and over, and as you say, 4 times, we read 4 times a day over the last 5 months, keep saying it, keep hammering it, and keep batting that ball in. And eventually, that's going to be the truth. That's what people will think because they've heard it so much, right?
Exactly. Harry, thank you so much for the $10 donation. Hey. He says, you're right. It starts from the top and stuff flows downhill. Let's get this party started. Thank you, Harry, again for donating. Yeah, he leads by example. And so when people are like, what's happening in California is why people don't trust elections. No. Now, do I think that before Donald Trump, people may have had an issue with mail-in ballot? Do I understand that during COVID, how we just sent out mail-in ballots because we couldn't have people going to the voting booths? Mm-hmm. Yes, I understand that. I would even go as far as saying this. If you want to change it, then do it in a systematic way with voter approval, right? So if all of a sudden Californians were like, you know what? I'm fine with mail-in balloting. I do believe there are safeguards in place, but I would like the system to be more streamlined. I don't like how long it takes to get the results. It's whatever. Then figure out a better system. Put it to the people. It doesn't come from the federal government. States run elections. The moment you let the president of the United States dictate how elections are run, why would he ever lose? Why would he ever put in place any rules that would impact his ability to win? And then there's the biggest joke, which is if we were able to rig elections, Donald Trump never would have been elected. Like, if Democrats knew how to do it in a way that had no evidence, because we've never seen it, then why the fuck is Donald Trump president? Why? Why is it only mayoral races or governor races in blue states? Like, it doesn't make sense. What makes sense is Trump is full of it. And he's trying his hardest to undermine our elections once again, because like Kim said, he's reading the writing on the wall and is realizing it's going to come out bad for them. So he might as well plant the big fat seed that it's rigged. Now, I was disappointed that Steve Hilton made it. I was. And again, if Dems were able to rig it, it wouldn't be a Republican in there, right? I mean, why would we do that? If we could rig elections, why would we have a Republican running against a Democrat for governor? Why? To make it seem like it's on the up and up? No, it's normally Democrat versus Democrat. This is odd. right?
It's only rigged when it doesn't go their way. There's this
Exactly.
story, Steve Hilton, publicly distancing himself from the president's claims that California's election results were rigged. He was on CNN with Erin Burnett, and she asked him about whether the results in the governor's race and the LA's mayoral contest were crooked or rigged in some way. And he said, yeah, so look, so many things wrong with the system. Really, are there? I've been saying that all along. We take it very seriously because we don't want to let people down, and we've been very vigilant on it. We're keeping an eye on it. We've got teams standing by, lawyers standing by. We've seen nothing that would give us cause to intervene in that way. But if he had lost and come in at number 3, would he have been singing that tune?
Probably not. Probably not at all. Right, Nugget? Not at all.
Take a page from Trump, and if you lose, throw a Trumper tantrum, as I think it was Jimmy Kimmel said. He calls it a Trumper tantrum. I think that's hilarious.
And I will get this. I think when you're talking about the LA mayor race, what people are caught up in is the social media popularity of a reality TV star. How could Spencer Pratt have lost? It's effing LA in California. He's a total Trumper and an asshole. Like, it's really not that hard to believe that sane voters, the ones, that go to the polls and actually vote, didn't vote for him. Because as much as you want to say that someone is popular on social media, that does not necessarily equate to his wackadoo supporters walking their ass into a polling booth and voting. People do this all the time. They will spout all kinds of politics. You scratch just beneath the surface and they've never voted before. People love to scream and yell about politics. They love to say, oh, this person's right. When's the last time you voted? Oh, well, I didn't vote in the last election. I don't trust them. Well, then shut the hell up. Then shut up. Don't say that it was stolen from Spencer Pratt when you couldn't get off your ass and vote. And dollars to donuts, a significant portion of people that were all over social media saying they were going to vote for Spencer Pratt were just in it for social media clout. Did they actually register to vote? I think one of the most infamous ones, and this was years ago, I think it was even during Obama's election, was Paris Hilton. She was one of the big get out to vote things on MTV.
Sure.
And like one reporter decided to just do a little bit of digging. She never registered to vote. She was one of the faces of the voting campaign. And she never voted in that election because people love to talk about politics, but participating in it takes an effort that's a bar too high for some people. It's just ridiculous. So
I love this comment from Vilma. And Vilma writes that, let me go back to it. I want to see evidence that our elections are rigged. Anyone can make an accusation. An accusation is not evidence.
Exactly.
Here, Vilma.
Exactly.
And that is exactly why Trump got up from the NBC interview with Kristen Welker and stormed out because she asked for evidence. He said it again in one of his 4 times a day that he had to get that sucker out of his mouth. And she's like, really? Well, where's the evidence? Because you keep saying this and there's no evidence. And when pressed for evidence by a woman who won't back down, his face turns bright red.
Handle it. Yep.
He loses his mind because he can't say, oh, thank you for asking. Here's why I think this is true. Here's where the evidence lies for me. Instead, he can't. He has no evidence. He has no comeback. And so his face turns red and he storms out and throws a Trumper tantrum and off he goes, right? Thank you to Mr. Kimmel for the Trumper tantrum. And off he goes off into the world, right? And then the big story is, oh, he stormed out. The big story should have been Trump can't provide evidence for his consistent lies about vote rigging. That should have been the story.
And I don't understand why, if he could prove it, he wouldn't. If you could prove something that you've been arguing for years, show it. Show the evidence. Where is it? We have tons of evidence against you. Yeah. Oh, we should have had it 2 weeks ago. It's always 2 weeks. Oh, you're gonna have it in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. It's just. Wait, what? Hold on. Is Nikki going to talk about Trump's titty twister, freak, and rapist fetish?
What? Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Can you explain to me? Because I think I missed a headline somewhere.
Okay, so there's been all kinds of testimony.
Sorry, if I see titty twister fetish, I have to stop. Thank you, Phineas. Go ahead.
So, and again, these are allegations, and I don't know if they're true or not true. I don't have the evidence, but the House Oversight Committee has been taking testimony from Jeffrey Epstein's former longtime personal assistant, from Bill Gates yesterday, from a bunch of people. And here's what we have.
Okay.
What we think is that there's now a, quote, stunning account. Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swan, who did this deep dive in their book. It's called Regime Change Inside the Imperial Presidency of Donald Trump. And Maggie Haberman is an excellent journalist.
She is.
She's not going to publish something that isn't true. I personally believe
I think it'd be heavily researched and backed up. Yes.
Because that's bad on her name if it comes back that it's not true. So she must have been awfully sure. But the book includes this account of a Situation Room meeting on the release of the Epstein files that, the quote is, veered into what authors described as nipple materials. All right.
Is that a Janet Jackson moment or what?
So they're freaking out. They're freaking out because they're trying to cover all this stuff up. And she said, Trump's team used to talk about nipples, which tells you everything you need to know.
Shoot. Okay.
Okay. There's allegations that one of his victims saw on another victim that he had rubbed the nipples raw and red. That he has fascination with nipples, that he likes to be rough with nipples and has a nipple situation going on.
Let's just all say nipples together. Okay. Ew.
So this is a meeting that took place in the White. This is separate from that, but this is a meeting that took place in part of the White House, where apparently Trump's team used this room, the same room where Obama watched the strike that killed Osama bin Laden. Like, this is a place where big things happen, like important things. And what the Trump team used it for was to talk about nipples. Yeah, talk about nipples.
Interesting. And the that Maggie Haberman, Jonathan Swan book. I thank you for reminding me. I was seeing a bunch of stuff. I mean, there's everything from him being upset at Charlie Kirk, because obviously Charlie Kirk wanted more information regarding the Epstein files released. And a lot of it has to do with that. Like, again, why would Donald Trump not want to talk about the Epstein files? It was an easy win for him when he was running. And now all of a sudden he doesn't want anything to happen.
And why is Maggie Haberman reporting in this book that Trump's team was doing everything they could to keep his name out of it, trying to cover things up?
That's crazy.
They're in that Situation Room trying to figure out how to deal with the political fallout from their botched handling of the Epstein files. Why?
Because they're guilty. And, there was also an excerpt where they wanted Pam Bondi to be fired. Obviously, she's not there anymore, but back then, because of the statements she was making. Remember, regarding, I have a list, I don't have a list, it's taken care of. Like, she went back and forth and back and forth. She was a terrible face of investigating the Epstein files. And the whole story needs to stay front and center. It is insane that we have somebody in the White House we knew this. He was already an assaulter, but he's a freaking pedophile. I'm sorry. Anybody that doesn't believe that Donald Trump did something at Epstein Island, I just can't believe that you actually think that. Sick Trump fetish claim revealed. He's sick in the head.
Nipped in the bud, right?
Oh my God.
Apparently he has a nipple thing, like where he's angry and nasty
and again,
with nipples.
I'm not going to yuck anybody's yum. If you like to play with nipples, play with nipples. But all I'm saying is, one, let's not talk about it in the Situation Room. Two, don't do it to underage girls at Epstein's Island. You know what I mean? Like, you're a friggin' pervert.
Yeah.
Oh, God. It's so... And again, Yeah, and Phineas, I agree with you. He says, I can't wait until the Dems get back into power to put all these liars in front of Congress under oath. My problem with your statement, Phineas, is under oath no longer means anything to these people. It just doesn't. Like, they just sit there and lie under oath. Why? Because there's no punishment for them to lie to Congress. It's supposed to be a punishment, but there isn't one. So, or they don't respond to the subpoena. Like, they don't follow the rules, because if anything that Donald Trump has proven, the rules don't really have any teeth. They just don't. Unless they're going to be enforced by someone, there's zero teeth. And he has completely filled every part of the government with sycophants. So why would they do anything for the American people or to uphold American law? They don't have to. They don't have to at all.
Here's what they say. Here's what they say. Okay. Early searches of the early version of the site, they're making the prototype for the Epstein files release. Trump related hits was this allegation from Epstein accuser. Her name is public now. It's Sarah Ransom, drawn from a settled civil case. In emails to a reporter, Ransom alleged that a girl Epstein had trafficked, known as, I won't say her name, told her she slept with Trump and described him as fixated on nipples and physically rough with hers. The nipples, according to Ransom, looked incredibly painful. They were red and they were swollen. She saw them when the girls were in a shared bathroom. Vice President Vance argued for releasing the material, telling the group Trump would be all right with doing so. He said, I think we should put it out. It would cause people to say that we are going further than we used to. But Susie Wiles said the president would not be fine with it, and that it had been flagged. Apparently, they didn't want to put this out. They're going to make a huge scene of this, even though it's not true and everyone knows it, they said. Oh, you're muted. Sorry, you must have muted yourself while I was talking nipples.
Sorry. I can't imagine being part of this administration. Like,
that's the amount of the country.
Right. But also, like, it's a clown show. The topics, and I will even say this, Epstein files, yes. Who's there? Yes. But if I was sitting in the Situation Room talking about the president of the United States fetish with nipples, there would be a part of me that would be like, what the hell are we doing? Like, what are we doing? We're not giving people health care, right? We're not making anything more affordable. We're not actually addressing the issues that people want. They do want accountability for the Epstein files. I totally 100% support that. But there is a part where you're like, are we doing anything for the American people? Inflation is up. Gas prices are up. We have a president that won't call a war, but sometimes he will, and doesn't give a shit that everyone's paying more. It's so upsetting, for like the weakest word I can use right now, because it's still going to be close in the primary. You know what I mean? Like, or in the general. It's so upsetting that people still buy it. And that is why, and the reason why, is because of media and social media. And the fact that we cannot get a baseline of facts. There's a new movie coming out. I don't know if you saw it. I saw the trailer this morning. Let me see if I could look it up. It's a sequel to The Social Network. Have you seen this?
Yeah, I saw The Social Network.
But there's a sequel coming.
I didn't know there was a sequel. Okay.
So I don't know how many of you guys watched Succession, but one of the actors from Succession is playing an older Mark Zuckerberg. And this all has to do with, obviously, what's happened since he created Facebook and the misinformation that this, and it's not just Facebook. Obviously, right now, it's not just Facebook. I mean, there's so many other ways to get misinformation, TikTok, things like that. But Facebook was the most popular one. It was like the granddaddy of misinformation, especially during COVID. You would just be able to post whatever you want, and people took it as fact. I still remember being on this show, talking with you, and being like, you could put on a doctor's coat and be an expert all of a sudden in what cures COVID. And people believed it over epidemiologists who have spent their entire careers studying infectious disease experts. And they're like, no, that guy who's wearing that white coat on YouTube or on Facebook has 1 million freaking followers. And all of a sudden, everything they said is Bible, gospel verse. And the actual experts, Fauci and others, there's another name I haven't heard of in a while. Just it doesn't mean anything anymore. And I just don't see how we pull back from it. I'm waiting for the trailer to come up because I want to play it for you guys. But
it's called the social reckoning.
It's called The Social Reckoning. And I'm so there's like 2 movies that I keep talking about. This is going to be the second one. The first one is that AI movie that I don't want to see, but I feel like everybody should see, which
Tim
is about
says everyone must see this movie. Yeah.
See, I know it's going to be good, but I don't want to see it because AI scares the living shit out of me. Like, honestly, it does. It scares me about what the world is going to look like in 2 years. That's how that's how the trailer at least makes it seem like we are knocking on Terminator's door. You know what I mean? Like, Skynet is right around the corner. And I don't know. We create these things and then we act like we have no control over them. We create AI and we're like, oh my God, it's going to ruin society. Okay, then stop. What's the AI company? I can't pronounce it.
Anthropic.
Anthropic. Thank you. I'm like, keep wanting to say anthropolic. That's not a word. They want there to be a pause on AI, and some people are because it's right about to get outside of human control. And so for me, normal person, I'm like, stop. And then other people are like, it's just because their IPO is going to suck. Really? I mean, are we just going to put all of our chips on that idea, right? That it's just a capitalistic, selfish idea to make the competition slow down? Or are they like, nah, we see what's happening. Yeah, we're not number one, but we see where this is going. And that scares the living crap out of me.
Yep.
It's, and I've been meaning to tell you this because it just popped into my head because Vanessa was saying something about the doctor. Just happened to me yesterday. Had to take my daughter to her wellness check. Doctor is talking. She's like, oh, and is it okay if I record this? It
happened to me recently too. Yeah,
appointment
on AI.
Yeah, you were telling me. Yeah, and I was like, and I did say, I'm like, it's okay. Like, she wasn't recording like my face or anything like that. It was, I know it's for charting. I understand what it's for, but it's the use of AI as a shortcut that makes me scared that we're just offloading all of our intelligence and data into something that doesn't have a soul, doesn't have morality. Yeah. And do you think anybody that's programming that thing is plugging in morality? Their morality, perhaps, but nobody else's. No. Anyone can say they're a doctor online. You have no way of knowing they're lying. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I should just put on a white coat and say whatever I want. I'm really hoping my YouTube's not working, so I can't play the trailer. It's funny that my YouTube's not working. I can't open another window of YouTube, but so The Social Reckoning is the movie. And there's this line, which is why I wanted to play it for you. Mark Zuckerberg says in the movie, he says, I am a free speech absolutist. And that's how he got around the misinformation. He's like, you could see what they're saying and you could see that they're lying. You could see all of it. That is the most weakest argument for the power and control a social media company has over truth, over behavior, right? Can you play it? Okay, play it. It's such a good trailer. And I love the guy that's Flip from Shameless is on it. And is
that the one you were hoping to play?
That was exactly the one. But yeah, the whole I'm a free speech absolutist is the weakest argument for social media or a lack thereof of controls. Oh, it's free. It hurts free speech. We have like the toothpaste is out of the tube. It's already out of the tube with social media. I mean, there's no way Congress even knows how to regulate social media anymore. Honestly, I think every safeguard they try to put up is total bullshit. And we're about to do it with AI. If not, it's already happened. They don't. And again, The people in Congress are too effing old to even understand, I believe, the true threat of this technology, let alone know how to put safeguards in it. That's the problem. And people like Donald Trump, and I will say other politicians as well, on both sides of the aisle, they know how to exploit that weakness. The whole post-government line also, it reminds me of too big to fail, right?
Yep.
We have a medium in which we can control what people see and believe. And they're looking at Congress going, you think you can control us? We can literally use our tool to turn so many people against you. Mm-hmm. And that's insane. And that's the truth. It's crazy. It's crazy.
One of the lines that stood out to me in there was the actor playing Zuckerberg saying, I post it. It's up to you what you want to post. It's up to you what you want to believe.
Right.
Right. So the onus is on us as to what we're going to believe. But we've already shown that we collectively can't handle it.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Because when we're fed this, we believe it. We don't know what posts are true and what posts are false and what's this and what's that. And so then you have to say, okay, if the public has shown that, if our product has shown, we now realize, because I think we all realize, right, that it's caused problems in society.
Yep.
True?
Yes.
Okay. I think social media helps proliferate lies, right? Spread them around, and ugliness. And so if we know that, and we know that society can't police it ourselves because people are gullible and will believe things, then why isn't the onus on social media companies and folks like Zuckerberg to be a little more responsible? And maybe instead of pushing this algorithm that delivers all this crap to you so you watch more and more and more of the lies that you want to believe, why don't they have an onus for the truth to be published?
Because they will say, well, what is the truth, Kim? What do you choose to believe? Is it wrong to believe the president of the United States? Is it wrong to believe the president of the United States? If the president of the United States says something, you know what I mean? That's what they'll come back with. Well, you can see what the president says. You can see the president say gas prices are low, and then you can go to the gas station, see that they're not, and then you get to make the decision. Right. But that's it's such bullshit.
No. There's some things like, okay, you can say, here's when conception happens, right? And now it's up to you to decide whether you think life begins before that point or after. And we can have this debate because it's based on, factual evidence, and you can have different opinions about what those facts mean. But when you're lying about the actual facts, then you have a debate that's not even valuable at all.
No, exactly.
And the one time social media has tried to crack down on Trump, was it after January 6th when he was banned all over these places?
Right. He sued him.
And then he comes back into office. He sues, and they're trying to get back in his good graces. And now he's all over the place again, spreading his lies. And it shows that they're really out for power and money. If they really were out for preserving truth and society, then they wouldn't have let him back in. It's just that simple to me.
Gordon says this is why we must teach critical thinking in all schools. And they show this. Study after study has shown, and this is why they always say, oh, they're being indoctrinated in schools, is because you are teaching students critical thinking skills. The fact that they think that by teaching truth and not sugarcoating history of the United States, for instance, that's indoctrinating our students or making them hate themselves or making them hate America. I was raised learning all about the truth about Christopher Columbus, the missions, Native Americans, all of that. I don't hate America. I know history. There's a difference. Donald Trump is if you insult my race, my history, then you're wrong. And then history is wrong. And we shouldn't be doing that. He wants to keep people ignorant. College people who watch multiple sources of media are more likely to call Trump out on his bullshit. Call a lot of people out on their bullshit. It's not indoctrination. But what they'll tell you is there's no such thing as critical thinking. They're just trying to indoctrinate you into the liberal mindset. Don't listen to any of them. That was Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk did not believe that people needed to go to college. He said that over and over and over again.
Well, they like the uneducated.
Exactly. He loves the uneducated. Just buy it hook, line, and sinker. That's it. It's ridiculous and it's scary, and we need to do something about it. But at the same time, it's being, accelerated by AI. All this misinformation is being accelerated. You think AI is not some, being sent down from God. It is programmed by fallible, influenced, and biased people.
That's right.
That's it. That is it. People make AI. People. And yes, I understand that AI can start learning things. You know where they're learning it from? Idiots posting shit online. They're scrubbing the internet for it. It's not coming from outer space. Although, I know I saw somebody say they're going to watch Disclosure Day. I'm going to go see that tomorrow. It's an alien religious movie by Steven Spielberg, by the way. Did Tim Zika talk about that one?
I have not heard that one yet.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, you let me know if he's going to, I'm going to see it anyway. But anyways, it's this idea that AI is this entity separate from humans. It is not. It is not. And so just as much as we are biased, influenced, fallible, skewed, messed up in the head, the more that's plugged into AI, you think AI is going to discern it? No. It's ridiculous.
I got this message, and I want to say the best class my daughter has taken in high school, speaking of educating our kids in critical thinking, is AP US History. And this teacher, Ms. Lunabis, relates what's happened. Shout out to Lunabis. Relates what's happened in U.S. history to current events now. It has been eye-opening, and to listen to the passion and the knowledge that my daughter brings home is awesome. I am so happy. And next year, a senior requirement is that you have to take half a year of government and half a year of economics. And so she signed up for AP government and econ, right? And I get this message back. This is a reminder, we're still looking for a few volunteers to shift, this is from Petaluma High School, to shift from AP government econ to just a regular class. They didn't say just, I added that in there. If you're having any doubts about taking AP government econ and would prefer the regular government economics course, please fill out this form. If we do not receive enough volunteers to switch out of AP government econ, we'll need to randomly move students into the regular class and place you on a wait list. So here's these classes that they're maybe more rigorous, and I'm hopeful that the regular class maybe will give the same information, maybe just I would
imagine, it's just a little bit more stressful.
But if you want that level of thinking, of discourse, of that kind of a class, why don't you celebrate that kids are wanting it and add more sections rather than saying we're going to have to pluck you out and that's it.
Yeah.
We only have this many spaces. It feels sad to me that
I hear what you're saying, but maybe
clamoring for critical thinking. They're clamoring for more information. And we have to say, sorry, you, and you sit in the back.
Yeah, I would be very upset if I was a student that was able to, had the smarts to, and the ability to take an AP class. And because AP classes give you college credit. It's not a small thing to say you cannot take this. That is a huge thing to take away from a student. But at the same time, I was literally just on this college Zoom meeting with my son yesterday. And I bet there are a bunch of students who maybe aren't as geeked out on American history as your daughter was, but are just doing it for the points, right? Which again is totally fine. I mean, that's what AP is for, right?
You have to sit there, you have to learn it, and you have to master it to pass the AP test.
To pass that test. Right. And I'm telling you, as someone who just went through watching all these kids take AP tests, it ain't for the weak. No. It is not for the faint of heart. And multiple AP courses, oh my God. I was, not that this should surprise anybody that has watched this show, I was not an AP student, but I've seen, I was the health clerk and I signed out how many kids with headaches, with the shakes, with the stress, just because they were either about to or done with taking AP courses.
Yeah.
So, it's not, I'm happy that Julia loved it. I would assume, and this is a big assumption, that the conversation and obviously what they're learning is the same, but maybe the way it's discussed might be different. Who knows? It could also just be she had an awesome teacher. You know what I mean? Like,
it could be. I don't know. I just feel like if that's the level, and again, I hope the so-called regular class has the same type of information, right? That either class you take will set you forth after high school with the same kind of knowledge of how our government works and how the economy works and the ability to critically think.
yeah.
But if it's not, and if the AP class really does a better job at that, then it sucks that, you know, that they keep it so small and that all kids don't have access to being able to take it.
Oh, absolutely. And again, I will say this, with how much money you can save by already having college credits,
Yeah.
not to mention being challenged. If you're able to take an AP course and you want to, being denied that opportunity is not something that should be taken lightly. They should look to have another teacher, another course, another class before they randomly take out students. I think that's messed up.
I have to tell you something about the AP test since we're talking about AP test. So Julia took the AP pre-calculus AP test, okay? Mm-hmm. She came home and she goes, listen, there was one of the questions on that test that I had no idea. So I wrote a note to the person who will be grading it, because you don't know who's going to grade it.
Right.
Apologizing. But she said, dear person grading this test, I have no idea how to do this problem, and I'm really sorry that you're the person that got my test to grade.
Oh, that is so funny. She's like, I'm just going to be honest. I have no idea.
She goes, sometimes if you just put anything, they have to give you at least a point. So I wrote something. I'm like,
there you go. Hey, she's working the system. You know what I mean?
Like, apology. Like, I know I suck. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Well, you know, and I'm glad that we're kind of transitioning into preparing for college, because I know that Julia has big college plans. Out of state, correct?
Well, she says she's going to apply to the UCs.
Of course.
So we'll see how that goes. And then she's got some lofty goals for colleges where she could major in both music and something else that might help her with law school or what have you as a backup plan. That's kind of, she has both of these interests.
So it's music and law. That's what she's doing?
Music and law. So on her list, Oberlin, which is excellent for music, University of Michigan, the Manhattan School of Music. I guess that's a really hard one to get into. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. I told her that I had looked up some of these schools, and it's surprising how early you have to get started on applications and auditions.
Yeah, exactly.
Now. So I
go,
now is the time. Let's make up our list. And then go through. I want you to go through and look up all of these colleges and what their requirements are for what you want to do, so that you can't say, I really would have liked to apply here, but I missed the date. Right?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. It's and what was interesting, I was again listening to this thing and Dylan's he's going to be a 10th grader. Right. So I wanted to start early because, you know, Marley has her own plans. And while, I'm a huge proponent of community college, of course, you guys know this, my kids are going to be starting there. It's never too early to start letters, knowing where you want to go after that.
Sure.
One of the tips that I learned and was a great idea, especially for people like my son, for instance, he loves to write. He wants to be an author. Yay. And I've had the tough conversation with him of, okay, but as you're writing the book, what's paying the bills, right? Like as you're figuring out that, because we all know that print journalism is dying. Right. I mean, online, whatever. I'm not trying to, yuck your yum here, but let's be realistic here. Mm-hmm. What are you going to make for money? And so it was interesting. One of the tips, and parents take notes, that they gave is go on LinkedIn and put in the career choice of what you want. So for instance, I put in author. Okay. And it just brings up a bunch of people, and obviously choose it in your country because there was tons of out of the country places. And then look where they went to school and what they majored in. And you would be shocked at like engineer, nurse, right? Like all of these other things, but they had been an author for like a decade. Yeah. Why? Because these were the different roads and paths that can bring you to what you want. And that was the whole thing. It's like, your major isn't your career. Your major is giving you the skills to do what you may want to do in the future. Right. So, I mean, obviously I used my degree. I went into broadcast journalism. I don't think I could be more on the nose with what I wanted to do, but that was lucky. You know what I mean? That was lucky to do that. But my skills in broadcast journalism can be parlayed into so many different things.
Sure.
And that's kind of the point that they were making is you don't have to know, but you just need to know like what you're doing is possibly going to lead you in a direction of where you do want to go, which I found to be such a great, obvious thing to say, but not a lot of people think of it. They're like, I'm going to go into nursing because I can only be a nurse. I'm going to go into creative writing because I'm only going to be a writer. Well, you don't necessarily need to do that.
Then there's all the people that go to college and spend all the money and major in something and then end up doing something completely different. Like my husband has a degree from UC Santa Barbara in biology.
Interesting. Okay. What did he want to do?
He thought maybe research.
Okay.
He works in computer science.
Exactly. They said the only one where the major and the job are like literally the same is engineering. You want to be an engineer, you got to go into engineering. Like that's kind of the thing. But other than that, like you can take your major and apply it in a bunch of different ways, but you have to start early. And you know this, Kim, because you're like way on top of it. And my son does too. The math path is very important. Yeah. It just is like, and they say, go for the engineering route, which is the hardest route because everything, even if you do something that doesn't need that much math, you're already on the path, but making it up after is next to impossible if you wait too long. It was a really great zoo. I as someone who's, sending my kids on one path to start, I want to put this in their minds as they're thinking about what do I want to do with my life? And I'm sorry, at 17 and 15 years old, that is a very weighty question.
It really is. And people don't know,
You don't, and you shouldn't have to know. Yeah. You shouldn't have to know at that age. You should just know that you want to try things. Go ahead.
You get in when you start putting your name on the list of people taking the AP test and the SAT test, all of a sudden this like light switch turns on and all of these colleges across the country start sending you postcards and pamphlets in the mail. It's like every day the mailbox is full. And there's one college, I forget which one, but I thought this was an interesting way to do it. They said all of their people that they admit freshman year or I don't know if as transfers, but as freshmen there's no declared major. Everyone is the same.
There you go.
And for the first year, you're taking general ed classes and you have a year or two. They don't even put you into a declared major until like 1 or 2 years into the program.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because usually you have to apply and get into a program, right? And then
and sometimes you can't even get exactly. Right. And switching majors at a lot of these colleges is even possible. Right. I think he was saying, and I think it might be UC Berkeley, he was saying, they do not allow you. If once you've declared a major, you can't switch. That's it. You're in that school. And just because you got into UC Berkeley doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get into the school that you want. Right? I mean, there's still competition, like the nursing program, right? Like you might want to go to San Jose State. They have a great nursing program. Just because you go there with all intention of getting there, you may not get in. Then what are you going to do? My grandson wanted to go to the NFL, wound up working for Microsoft. Hey, that's a better gig.
How many jobs are there for bassoonists in the world, right? I mean, come on.
I know, but she loves it. And that could get her a scholarship. You know what I mean? Like you do.
It could get her a scholarship, but is it going to get her, is she going to be okay in the world when she graduates? Like if bassoon is all you got.
Oh, it's not all she got, though.
Well, I'm just saying, like, that's like her, she graduates with a degree in bassoonery. And that's it.
Not buffoon, bassoon.
You can't get a job as a bassoonist, and then you're screwed. I think a backup plan is great.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's hard. We're both at that point, and Dylan being a sophomore and junior's right around the corner. It's one of those things where I've told him, like, you want to go straight to a 4-year, you're going to have to get a lot of scholarships. So start coming up with a great essay and doing all those volunteers and extracurriculars that line up with what you want to do, which was the other thing. Like, just don't take a bunch of things and cram everything in junior year. We have to see passion, right? Like if you want to be a doctor, where's all your medical clubs or, I don't know, nursing internships or whatever you want to do, right? Like if they don't see passion, they just see panic, which is what they're saying, what they said, then you're going to lose to someone who may not have as good a grades as you, right? But they had a clearer path. They knew what they wanted to do. They knew why they wanted to go to that college. And it's so stressful. And my heart goes out to kids, and our kids are going to be seniors next year. And I'm going to definitely have to take deep breaths.
I know.
It's crazy.
I know, it's hard, but at the end of the day, it's their thing, right?
Yeah. And that's another hard thing that parents have to let go of. You know what I mean? It's not bragging rights for you. It's a life choice for your kids.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's keep it on the college tip. I went to a college graduation, God, in freaking Morgan Hill last Friday, and it was hotter than hell. I am just going to go on record and saying I hate graduations. I do. I can't stand graduations. I find them, if it's inside and I'm comfortable, fine. Like, no big deal. But if I am outside and it is 100 degrees, knees to the chest, wrap it up, B. You know what I mean? Like, let's go. It was so freaking hot. Thank God I was sitting on the bleachers with my friend's grandparents, and I was able to hold an umbrella because I was all the way in the back. But my friend who had seats, because it was her kid, dying under the sun. But anyways, there was some really good speeches. My friend's daughter was a senior class president. So she was doing a joint speech with another student, I think the ASB president. And a lot of good things were said about, social media isn't your life. These things aren't your life. The number of followers you have, that's not your life. And that you need to find purpose in other things. It's all fine and dandy to say stuff like that. But like we were talking about before with the social media, when you can go to college and spend, I don't know, $100,000 a year, and then you see a YouTuber making videos all day and they're making $500,000, it's kind of hard, right? Yeah. It's kind of hard to point your kid in the right path. Vilma says, I don't know why I always cry at graduations. I cried at my daughter's preschool graduation, and there was no one more surprised than me. I was like, why am I crying? Like, this is a preschool graduation. And she walked out. I can still see it to this day. She walked out and I was like a blubbering idiot. And I remember my husband looked at me, he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I have no idea why I'm crying. Like, it's just preschool. I don't know what I'm going to do next year.
Biggest crier over graduations. And I didn't realize how much until this year, when there's a lot of the seniors that graduated this year are students that I had worked with in talent shows and plays and kind of got close to them. And one of the moms published this, pictures through the years of these friends as they come. And this one girl at graduation gave this speech about being a 40-year-old woman in her 18-year-old body and a 40-year-old body. She was putting herself
18-year-old brain in a 40-year-old body.
Now. Yeah, something like that. But she was saying, like, now I look back and I remember all of these moments, like my mom sitting in my room talking to me, and I noticed the way she's playing with my blankets, and I talked to my little brother because I didn't used to back then, but I realize now how much attention he needs from me. And she goes through all these things that I'm going to cry talking about it, that she goes through right now, right? And realizing that when she's 40 and looking back, she's going to be taking for granted all the things that this last summer will offer her, these opportunities to spend time with her family and her friends, and all of these going on these excursions with her mom to go shopping and run errands and all of these things that just seem normal, and that this is the last time. The next time she says she'll hear her mom, it'll be a voice on the telephone.
Oh God.
And I'm like, on sobbing in my car listening to this girl's speech, and I'm like, what's it going to be like next year when Julie?
You're going to be inconsolable.
I don't think I should go to graduation. It's going to be embarrassing.
It is sweet though, but it's true. Like my daughter is in summer school. She just started summer school today, but that's fine. She'll have a month of summer before her senior year, and I keep telling her, I'm like, do everything. I mean, obviously she's going to do like this senior sunrise and sunset thing, but I'm like, go to all the dances, be part of the clubs. Like this is it. Yeah. Like high school can suck major dick, but like, it's also the only time that you're high school. Like it's it. That's it. And there's been a lot of ups and downs, but I'm
crying already.
But it's the only time that you get to do this. The one thing that I always miss is the dances. You know what I mean? Like go to the dance, get dressed up. Because the next time you get dressed up, it's probably going to be a wedding or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But there's also having a good time and being smart about it, which is the other thing that I talk to my kid about, because you're preparing them to be out of your house.
Yeah.
And when you see stories like the one I wanted to talk about, it's hard. So I don't know if you've seen that what's going on in DC, but there's prosecutors in Washington, D.C. that are charging parents, which I agree with, whose kids are involved in teen takeovers. And these are obviously these parties that get out of control. Parents could spend up to 6 months in jail and would be contributing to the delinquency of a minor, which is the crime. Here's my question, though, because the other one I wanted to talk about was happening in Arizona. This Arizona teenager went to a senior ditch day. And I'm telling you, I don't know how many senior ditch days we had at freaking our school, but we had so many. So he went to a senior ditch day at one of his classmates' homes.
Right.
Now, I don't believe that the parents were there, but they apparently, allegedly, they knew that the party was taking place. And so the student is suing because the student who, again, and let me know if you think that this is right. 18-year-old student was drinking alcohol, yes, but obviously doing it on his own, went to the top of the roof because there's a pool in the backyard.
You're cutting out a little bit.
And
went
decided,
to the top of the roof.
Obviously,
okay.
Oh, sorry. I was going to bring up the video. That's probably making me think.
Okay.
Anyways, I'll just describe it. Goes to the top of the roof and tries to do, and succeeds in doing a front flip off the roof into the pool. Unfortunately, he didn't gauge the distance from the pool deck and whacked his head on the pool deck and ripped off part of his ear. Okay. So loses part of his ear, has a severe, I don't know if he has a traumatic brain injury, but he got a concussion, severe head injury. And now he is suing the parents for the party. I don't really agree with it. One, you're an adult. You're an adult. I mean, I could do full stop there. You're an adult. But the parents did know this party was going on. Do you allow your child who's graduating high school to have a rager? Is that an appropriate response to graduating high school? Knowing the teenagers drink, knowing that there's going to be underage drinking, and knowing that you might not actually even be there. Yeah, there we go. See, this is him doing the flip, and then he whacks his head. When he comes down, he goes too far to the left of that picture. And look how many kids are there. And they're all drinking. Why would you do a front flip? Like, just, I swear to God. So dumb.
So the Petaluma High School, they call it the Trojan Broadcast Channel, TBC. Okay. They put out the daily bulletin every day, and it's about 5 minutes long. And usually there's a piece that the student has prepared. And one of the last ones of the year had this piece with this boy. It was like a fake party. Okay. And they were describing, they had like red Solo cups and they were drinking, and then the police come and then people start getting arrested. And then the kid turns to the camera and he said, when I threw this party, I thought maybe I would get in trouble. But what I didn't realize is that my parents could get in trouble.
Exactly.
And they talk about the law that, if parents are found to be hosting these parties and knowing that kids are at their house drinking, and someone gets in a drunk driving accident, or someone rips an ear off, or whatever it is, that they can be held legally responsible. And that's what this kid is like, my parents might lose our house because so-and-so got into this accident, whatever. And the people that needed to see it were the kids that were having to watch the daily bulletin in class. So I'm really glad, because I'm sure that they don't want their family in trouble, right? I don't know.
I would say I agree with you, Kim, but
they
it's
don't care.
They don't care. It's just like what we were talking about a couple weeks ago with that drunk driving thing that they do, the dramatic thing, and then kids just literally went to drink and drive and died in their car, sadly. Kids' frontal lobes are not developed and they're idiots. Sorry, plain and simple. Like, yes, they understand what you're saying, but they don't think it can happen to them. That is the problem. It's like, I want to do what I want to do. Of course, that's not going to happen to me. Of course, I'm going to be safe. Right. And as a parent, it's difficult. And I'm just going to be honest. Like, your child is 17, 18 years old. Are you going to lock them up in their room? No, you have to trust your child. You have to tell them, don't be an idiot. Don't drink and drive. Don't get into a car. If you've been drinking, call me, or I'll get you an Uber, whatever. Right? Like, there are options. You won't get in trouble. You could say all of these things until you're blue in the face, And then the kid has a couple drinks in them and there's just like, whew, everything out the window.
So there's two ways of thinking about this, I think, if you're a parent. The first is, first of all, that you don't care. You're just going to host the party. You want your kids to like you. You want your place to be the party place. I know parents like this, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, oh, let them do it, whatever. And then there's maybe the people that have the parties that think, I can't stop them from doing it. I'd rather they did it here where I can take their keys and make sure they're okay. Either way, you have really little control over what's happening at your house when you have that many kids drinking in your home.
Oh, absolutely.
So I just say it's a big no. Mm-mm.
The fear obviously is that your kid has a party and you're not home. I mean,
right.
and
I did it when I was a teenager.
Exactly, with your bottle cap in the dishwashing disposal or whatever.
I'm guilty as charged. I know what kids do. Absolutely.
Yeah, but then but you weren't a bad kid. You understand? Like that's the mental gymnastics that parents make. It's like, I know kids want to have a party. I'm gonna bring it up, Phineas, like that Los Gatos mom, and she was mentally ill. This woman, if you don't remember, Shannon O'Connor, she's also known as Shannon Bruga. She got 35 years in prison because she threw these alcohol-filled parties. Kids were having sex. I think she was also having sex or videotaping the sex with these underage kids. These kids were traumatized. Yeah. I'm not talking about Shannon. She deserves to be in prison. There's something seriously wrong with her. What I'm talking about is the understanding that high school students are going to go to a party. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so what do you do?
Right.
Do you let your child go to these parties knowing all of the temptation and all of the bad decisions that are being made? Or do you hold them at home and then send them out into the world after they graduate and be like, good luck? Like, what do you do?
Then they're even less prepared if they do end up going off to college away from you, right?
Where they go crazy.
College parties and they go crazy. So what's the right thing to do? I think is just to prepare them, not to tell them they can't go, but to tell them it's much better to be the designated driver. It's much better to be the person who doesn't have to be embarrassed in the morning. It's much better to be the person looking out for your friends, and hope that somehow that message sinks through.
It's funny, the messages I give my daughter. There's the crazy woman. She doesn't even look like that anymore. If you Google her in court, she looks totally different. But that's her. That's the one that was having all these parties for her kids. Somebody said that she was helping her son get sex, which is really freaking sad. But when I tell my daughter, she likes to go to she went to a concert in the city with her friends. And I was like, don't take a drink from anybody. Like, you do not, if anybody hands you something, and I was doing all these karate moves. I'm like, no, SWAT, like nothing. And she's like laughing at me. I'm like, I'm serious. I'm like, if you aren't holding your drink and you put it down at all, that's not your drink anymore. That's the garbage drink. You can go get another drink. And I'm telling you, I'm proud. A lot of her friends have said, it's funny. I'll go to a house and I'll just see drinks everywhere that are like half full. Because girls are just like, nope, I'm not drinking that drink anymore. So I think the message for young ladies is getting through.
Right.
I just hope that, obviously it gets through and nothing bad happens, but we know that it does all of the time.
There is this new show on Amazon Prime, I think. It's called Off Campus. And I
saw it.
Okay, so it's based on these romance novels, right?
Yeah.
I'll pull you the picture of it up. And this girl in high school was sexually assaulted by someone that gave her a Mickey or whatever you call it now.
I'm Mickey. I love you.
You slipped something in the drink. That's not funny, but yeah, that. And so because of that experience, she goes to college and she refuses to accept a drink from anyone until she starts to trust the people a little bit more. And the boy that she ends up dating is like, first, he doesn't really think anything of it. He maybe thinks, that's weird. And it's not until his friend talks to him and says she doesn't want to take a drink because she can't trust it. Right. Because something probably happened.
Exactly.
Then he gets it. Right. But I loved that they put that in there because I really hope that kind of seeing that experience and what happened to her makes girls think of it now.
It's because that scene, he brings her a closed can of beer and he's like, no pressure, but if you wanted to. And she even said, thank you. Like you could tell she wanted to participate in the drink. They were in college, by the way. But like she wanted to participate in the party, but she was not in any way, shape, or form going to take a drink from somebody or have a keg or anything where anybody could, with sleight of hand, slip something into the drink. And she was like, thank you. Like, that's what she needed. She needed somebody to understand and to see it, not make it a big deal. Liz says, my husband and I held a party once. It was nerve-wracking for our high school kids. Had a bunch of parents hang out with us to keep an eye on the kids. Took away all their backpacks, bags, no drinks. That's a great way of doing it. Mm-hmm. And making it a party with other parents is, I think, smart, right? Like, oh, it's not a high school party. It's a get-together with all kinds of people.
Listen to this from Heather. I think I've seen you say this before, but it just shocks me every time. Oh. Women need to make sure never to go alone. Always look out for each other. The time I had something slipped in my drink, she said it was the bartender who did it.
That's interesting.
Crazy.
I normally it's the person sitting next to you at the bar that you don't know or never even talk to. Hosting parties for high schoolers it's a very hard thing to do. But you need to be there. You need to be there. The worst thing to do is to let your kids just have a party with nobody home. Because you're going to get in trouble. Whether you're there or not, you're going to get in trouble.
Yeah. But I think it's important for kids to realize that you could definitely get your parents in some trouble here. Don't do it.
Exactly.
And for parents too, to say like, look, I could be legally on the hook for this, legally liable, financially wiped out if I host this party, and not enough people really take that seriously.
Well, and again, it's this idea. I don't know if you guys follow this thing, it's called Post Secrets. It's like a Facebook thing where people write in secrets and they post it. Mm-hmm. And one of the ones, because it's graduation season, was, I'm so happy my child has graduated because now I don't have to deal with the cool parents anymore. Right. Which, if anybody's had a kid in any part of school, you know who these people are. You know what I mean? Like, they're the ones that have to go all out with all of the parties, and it has to be a who's who, and some people have to be excluded all the time. Why should we have to invite everybody? Why can't our kids just, this, that, and the other? And it sucks. It sucks when you're not part of it. And I will even say this, because I've known some of these moms, it also sucks to be part of it. You know what I mean? Like, the pressure of it all is like, this isn't even fun. Like, why does it have to be the way that it is? I don't know. It can be really hard to balance letting your kids grow up, understanding what high school is about, understanding teens are going to experiment. They are. I mean, be lucky if your kid is just like, I'm never going to do anything, and they don't. That's awesome. A lot of teens don't fall into that category, and so you have to watch them like a hawk. Like, jail them and strap them to their bed. No, I'm just kidding. But it's hard. It's hard as a parent to know when to give enough rope and hope that they don't hang themselves with it. It's just really hard.
I don't know if I've done a good enough job with the whole watch your drinks in your life as a young woman or any woman.
You mean passing that lesson down?
Yeah, I think she thinks, because I've talked to her about it before, and I think I kind of just get brushed off like, oh, that could never happen. So I don't think that I've done a good enough job at saying, wait a minute, no, this is serious business. So I might have to pound that message home.
And not to minimize the importance of the conversation, but is Julia in a position to have that lesson tested? Like, is she going to parties where there's alcohol?
There are parties and there's alcohol, but she's not necessarily going to them frequently. She's been to one or two.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. It's like, not that the lesson's not important to continue. Like, anytime my daughter leaves, she could just be going to her friend's house. And I'm like, don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do this. Don't do that.
I need to have Julia call Heather. So that's what I need.
Do something. You know what I mean? Like, because again, it can happen like that. And it's the last phone call you ever want to get. I mean, that something's happened to your kid, they're caught in a situation. The best, besides them not going or not doing anything, is that they call you and they're like, yes, I did drink, but I need to be picked up. That's the best call to get. Absolutely. It means that they trust you and they still have their head on straight, right? So these are the moments. But if she hasn't been put into a position in which she really needs to test it, she might be absorbing the lesson. I don't know. I see Julia being able to handle it as long as she keeps an eye on her drink. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do anything if somebody slipped it in,
Nope.
That's
if you're out of control, you don't have control of everything. You can't.
I love Mindy. Drinking while young is dangerous. Your girl doesn't want to get pregnant.
No.
yes, they or assaulted or anything. You know what I mean? Like, that's true too. Great point, Kim. It doesn't even have to be alcoholic. It could be a soda.
Yep.
And that's even scarier when you say it like that. Absolutely. That's a very good point. It's not, because I think that some people are like, well, I'm not drinking alcohol, so I'm fine.
Yeah.
With the assumption that, oh, they're going to feel drunk. And so they won't know that they've been drugged. Yeah, of course you could slip a Mickey in any drink. Absolutely. It's scary out there. You know what I mean? It really is. What?
Sometimes it dawns on me that I'm lucky that I'm ugly.
Stop.
Hardly.
You are not, but it doesn't matter.
No,
and I'm not agreeing with, your physical appearance. People that assault people do not give two shits what you look like.
That's the thing. That's why Trump's, excuse, I couldn't possibly have
because she wasn't good looking,
E. Jean Carroll, because she's not my type, or she wasn't good looking enough, or that's not who I'm attracted to. We know that sexually assaulting people has nothing to do with looks and everything to do with control, right?
Exactly. That's all it has to do with. And again, just a side note, they showed him an earlier picture, a younger picture of E. Jean Carroll, and he's like, oh, she's hot. And I think she was Melania. I think he actually even confused her with somebody that he found attractive. So yeah, he's full of shit. He's absolutely full of shit. Okay,
and we think you're beautiful, Mama.
Exactly. Well, let's lighten it up in the last little portion of the show that we have here, shall we? Make sure your kids don't drink and drive and all those things. But speaking of parties, who is excited about the World Cup? Anybody? The first game was today. Mexico versus South Africa. Mexico won 2-0. Anybody?
Am I supposed to be excited about this? Because I know people in the chat are. I know Mama was earlier talking about Mexico, and a lot of people were like, oh, Viva Mexico. And that's fun. But I just, because I'm just not a soccer person really, and I haven't paid attention to the World Cup. I find myself like, meh.
I'm not watching. Believe me, I'm not a huge soccer watcher. When the World Cup is on, if it's on, I'll watch the game, but I'm not going out of my way. But I will say this, it is a moneymaker. And sports is not that sports isn't huge all the time, but with the New York Knicks, right about to clinch it in 40 something years, if they win their next basketball game. And now the World Cup being here, it's a big time for not just sports fans, but for business here in San Jose. And I don't know if they're doing anything in your neck of the woods, but downtown San Jose is going huge with watch parties.
Yeah.
But here's the question. People are bitter that they can't afford tickets, even though they're cheaper than they thought they were going to be because of all the security and all kinds of crap that's been going on. I saw one guy say, he's like, it's really sad that I can't go to an event that the whole world is participating in because of the price of tickets, and I have to go to a watch party. I would much rather go to a watch party. I mean, or watch it on my own TV, unless you have great seats. Although soccer's easy. Or maybe we're spoiled. Me. Yeah, exactly. What is it? Is it Excite or is it PayPal Park? Whatever we have in San Jose. I think it's PayPal Park now. The arena is awesome. Like, I don't think there's a bad seat at all. And they have the world's or the longest bar in North America or some hemisphere or whatever is at our park. So it's like a long outdoor bar. It's really, really cool. But anyways, I don't know who to root for. I guess if it's your country, Mexico. Some people were really stoked about Mexico. I'm just excited because there's all sorts of stuff happening. Cindy's only into baseball. Anybody into the Knicks right now? Basketball? So somebody said they're into basketball right now. The Knicks winning is really, really huge. Vanessa, the only live sports I've been to were San Jose State Spartan football games. Wow. Okay. No.
I was into the booing at the Knicks game. Does that count?
Oh, you mean when they were chanting USA, USA, USA and not booing? Yeah, sure. Okay, whatever.
I was really happy about that.
Kim says, I like how it encapsulates. I can't speak today. The whole world, but I don't care about soccer. And that's the thing also. I think that the fact that everybody is really, really into it is really cool. When was the last time the World Cup was in the U.S.? I remember when it was here in the Bay Area in the 90s. It's going to be here now. I mean, it's going to be here in a few weeks, if not next week, because they're playing at Levi's. So it'll be here soon. So that's a really big deal to a lot of people, is that you get to see something. Now, I don't believe we're getting any of the big matchups. I think some people were bitter that we weren't getting some of the quote unquote big matchups, but it's still historic. My game is the Niners. I freaking agree with you. Bring home the football. Oh, is this the booing? Let's listen. Do we hear booing? Let's hear. Turn it up.
The minute they show him on the Jumbotron. And the booing stops when the flag comes back on, right? I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back.
Sounds like booing to me. I mean, here's the thing. You can always say, oh, I only heard this. I only heard that. Right. I mean, he's never going to admit it. But this is what pisses me off. The MFer slept on screen, but we had Sleepy Joe. Like, give me a break. And then everyone's like, being a president is hard work. It's long hours. You didn't seem to have any of these excuses when we were talking about Joe Biden. So yeah, no, I would have booed. Oh yeah, that's very true, Vanessa. So the artist that was singing the national anthem right there was invited back because I guess he also does a lot of the national anthems, but you shouldn't boo him. He did a good job. It's just Trump that sucks. Totally sucks ass. So, all right. Well, I mean, I think it's hilarious. They lost the game on the night Trump was there. The curse of the Orange Man. Yeah. And they just won their last game last night and Trump wasn't there. So he is definitely not a good luck charm. He's just terrible at it. And he always just goes just to be like a pain in the ass about it. You know what I mean? Like,
I love how New Yorkers are like, he's the bad luck charm. He's the reason we lost.
Yeah.
He's cursed us.
Nobody in New York is loving the fact that Trump was there. Not to mention the watch parties were like, look at this. And the guy next to him, I don't know who that guy is, but he was out too. Like nobody was into this game. It's awful.
That's the owner of the Knicks.
Is it? Oh, Jesus. Mm-hmm. Why was he sleeping? I mean, come on. Don't go to the game.
Rest.
Don't go to the game then. Oh, there you go. He's moving around. The owner is. Yeah, apparently it was an amazing comeback last night. Yeah. And the Giants had a great comeback too. Walk-off grand slam. Apparently, like the guy that did it was the youngest that had ever done it. So the Giants are sucking apparently, but they did really good the other day. So that was great. How do you sleep in a loud arena? You're way too old to be out and about. That's how old he is. He needs to go to the hospital.
I mean, old people can kind of sleep anywhere. They're so tired. They just kind of doze off, nod off.
They're communicating telepathically.
Yeah.
Sleepy Joe or drowsy Donnie. I like that. I really do. I like that a lot. Well, I mean, anyways, I think that this summer is the perfect time to kind of get out and about. There's all do you have any big summer plans now that summer's officially here, my friend?
We have a trip to Maui planned for the first time in years and years and years. It's been a long time since I've been to Hawaii. With no husbands. My husband wants you to know my mom is taking my sister and I and the kids.
Why is husband not invited?
No husbands. I don't know. I first of all, she likes them, but like not. She keeps them at a periphery, at a distance.
I love your mom. She's like, they can stay home.
She's like, they can stay home. I'm going to pay for these certain people to come, and if you want to come. But she is. I think that she had the stroke this year, and she's clearly slowing down a little bit.
Right.
Even though she's doing well, but I think she's moving slow.
Yeah.
And I think when something like that happens, it scares the crap out of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think she's thinking I can take this one last trip with my kids, with my grandkids, with my family. I think that's where she's coming with it.
But not David can just stay.
David's bitter beans. He's like, the husbands don't get to go.
I mean, David, you can go. No one's stopping you from getting a ticket. It'd just be awkward because you're not invited, but that's weird. I don't know how I feel. My whole entire family, my parents are getting back today, but my parents and my brother, not together, but they were both in Florida for the past week. I don't know if anyone's heard of Nikki Beach. My brother kept sending me pictures.
Oh, how funny is that?
Yeah, and spelled the correct way and everything. Looked gorgeous. He's like, we're not coming back. We're like on island time. Apparently, it's really, really bougie. My parents were in Sarasota. My sister lives out there, so they were visiting her. But yeah, they're all on vacation. You know what my plans are? I'm staying home. I drove cross country last summer, and I'm doing nothing. I'm going to start working out with Dylan, my son, And that's my plan, is for him to get my lazy butt off the couch so I don't sit all day. And then I'm going to purge. This is the summer of purging, Kim.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I've decided I'm going to take and I'm going to do it in bits. I'm not going to get overwhelmed because then I get angry. I'm just going to so for instance, you can't see it, but right next to me is this desk that is loaded up with papers that I don't need anymore, all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to take a part every day. You know what I mean? I'm going to do this and then I'm going to throw crap away because that's my goal this summer.
This was something I did. Was it last summer recently where a friend and I made a deal that we were going to go through one drawer per day.
Yes.
That's it. One drawer. So whether that's a dresser drawer or a drawer in your nightstand or a drawer in your kitchen, reorganize at least one drawer a day. But it happens to me that after I do my one drawer, I kind of get on a roll and I want to do all the drawers. I want to. So
I did but
yeah.
We have a closet that we need to do. And that's going to be a day-long project. It's take everything out and then reorganize it. And I told my husband, I'm I want to see how long it takes you to realize I've thrown your shit out.
Yep.
I should write stuff down and be see, you never missed it.
You never used it. That's my garage.
That's our garage too.
Horrifying.
Yeah. So it's going to be a nice summer of staying home. We got a couple concerts I've mentioned before that we're going to, but I'm excited just to be a homebody, hang out with my kids, and get this house in order because, we have too much crap. I get overwhelmed.
I'm looking at Nikki Beach. I was looking up pictures of Nikki Beach, and it turns out that Nikki Beach is a restaurant. It's a restaurant.
Oh, I thought it was an actual beach.
It's right on the beach.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So it's mine.
But it's a restaurant on the beach.
There you go. I want to go to a restaurant on a beach.
Claim ownership. Yes.
Yeah. I'm I'm a Nikki. Do I get part of this beach, please? Yeah. Unfortunately, Vanessa, the crap that I'll be throwing out has no value whatsoever. It's the 50th coat that no one needs anymore that outgrew. You know what I mean? It's that kind of stuff.
But it's also that kind of thinking, and that's my downfall is, but I might need this someday.
That's
but if I let this go and I'll regret it. And you haven't used it in 5 years. And if you have regrets, it's probably not going to be as big as the regret of keeping all the crap around taking up space at your house.
Well, and did you know where it was to use it when you wanted it? Right. You know what I mean? So many times it's oh, we had one of those in the garage, but I just bought a new one because I didn't know that it was there. Well, then you didn't need it. You know what I mean? It's the summer of purging. Yeah. Making lots of trips to donations, but also posting things on Facebook. There's buy nothing groups and stuff. I don't want to just toss things away and throw things that are still usable, but hey, you want to come and pick it up off the curb, knock yourself out. It's sitting there. It's called garbage. Exactly. So that's my goal. We'll see how successful I am at it. And then of course, I'm just going to watch a lot of music. We're going to go to a lot of concerts this summer. That is my goal. No more traveling. We have 0 trips. I think the farthest we're going is Tahoe, and that's fine with me. Absolutely fine.
Julia's going to Japan.
I swear to God, your daughter is such a jet setter. Oh my God.
Because my cousin has hired her, or is hired by paying for her trip, her as a nanny to take care of their 2-year-old. And he has to go on business trips. So she's going to Japan and Korea, and she's getting the free trip to do so. So how exciting is that?
Don't you just wish?
Kid has been more places than I've ever been in my life.
She's living her best life. You know what I mean? She's living her best life. And take me with you, Julia. Just take me with you. Exactly. I would absolutely love it. All right. That's our show, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. We do have some thank yous. Harry, thank you so much for the $5 donation. And if you guys want to support the show, again, we are 100% crowdfunded, and we can only keep doing this show with your guys' support. It's vital. So all the ways to support the show are in the show notes. We do love PayPal because they don't take a cut. And just to remind you, every dollar goes to us. So it's, it's not going to some other group. It's just to us 2 ladies who put our heart and soul into this show. Am I doing the June swoon tomorrow? What is the June swoon? Can you educate me that on Phineas?
I emailed you to see if you would come. It is the Mark Thompson Show meetup.
Oh.
It is tomorrow night from 5 to 7 p.m. You don't have to stay the whole 2 hours. You could just swing by for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or the whole thing, whatever you want to do.
We will see.
People would love to see you, and
I
I will
know.
send
I
you
love
the
hanging
link.
out.
It's a
Yes.
fundraiser for the show, so please feel free to stop by. I emailed you, but maybe you didn't get the message.
I've not been checking my email, but I will. I will definitely do that. But thank you guys so much for being here again. Tell your friends about the show. We are here Thursdays at 5:00 Pacific, and we love having all of you here. So join us next week. And again, if you could support the show, we really do appreciate it because we love seeing you guys here. All right. Until next week, we love you. Bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. You sprout like a beautiful blossom. You're also the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.